So which are principal, manager, teachers, all the students and parents. First of all, I must mention what a joy it is for me and my wife to be here. My wife has been here earlier for some interview taken by Preeti ma'am. But this is my first instance that I have come, and my first word when I entered the hall was wow. Really, because I have not seen such a disciplined audience sitting in such a beautiful hall. So it's very nice to see, and I would start by saying, let's clap for all the children who are sitting here. When somebody is asked to speak at the end, there's always a problem for that person, because whatever that person generally thinks of saying has been said by the others. I really don't have much to add to what has been said by my colleagues, Dr. Bali, Ms. Neena Singh, Daljit Chima. So I have to think of something new now. And while sitting, I was just thinking of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yesterday is my age. I was probably the only one sitting here who was born before partition, before India became independent. And I have gone through all the travails of those days, before and after, immediately after the partition. We remember yesterday, or we should remember yesterday only for one reason, to draw lessons from that. There's no going back, not worth counting all the travails that we had, all the problems that we faced during that period. But it would be good if we remember those lessons and make sure that we don't do things wrong, which we did or which were happening to us earlier. Today, I want to remember for one, for preparing for tomorrow, and two, for enjoying life. I think that is how you should spend today. Enjoy your life and prepare for tomorrow, and whatever is needed to be done for tomorrow, then you should work on that, work hard, and all the lessons that you have just now learned from my colleagues who came before me. When we are thinking of tomorrow, I find a very bright India tomorrow. It's so encouraging, it's so, people say rise of India. It's not just rise of India that we are seeing today, but it is also the vibrant India, the energy which India has today. And I have seen enough of it today in my life in the army, as well as almost 23 years afterwards. It's a different India, and that is what is applicable to you. You have to prepare for that different India. An India which is going to be one of the world powers, whether it is in terms of education, it is in terms of our economy, whether it is in terms of scientific culture, research, whether it is in terms of enterprise, the youthful enterprise. All that you're going to have very soon, very fast-moving trains, bullet trains, some people call it. You will have probably the state-of-the-art airports, state-of-the-art railway stations. All that is coming for you. We go abroad to find out what is happening there. And we come back, कि वहाँ तो यूरोप में तो ये हो रहा है, चाइना में भी ये हो रहा है and all. And you come so impressed. And sometimes people feel depressed coming here. But that's not going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow is something different. Tomorrow you will be setting example for the whole world. And that is what I think every youth in our country, that you people should be preparing for. You have to prepare for that tomorrow. In that, whether it is the kind of opportunities that you are going to have are vast, and they are becoming more and more from, in my time, you, as a professional, you thought of either becoming an engineer or a doctor or a civil servant or a military officer. Today it's not so. The opportunities are there. It is for us to utilize that. It is for us to prepare ourselves for those kind of opportunities. And that is what is so good for you if you are able to energize yourself and look for that kind of, have an aim, have a goal, and pursue that. Pursue that with hard work. Without hard work, no goal can be achieved. Since I have spent so much of time in the army, I suppose I'm also expected to talk about the army. And in any case, the young cadets sitting here and Preeti ma'am, they really inspire me to talk about the army. We did not have many women in my time when I got my commission, only a few doctors and of course nursing officers. Today we have got, I think, 11,414 women officers in the Army, Navy and Air Force. So there's a big job opportunities. And one thing good I notice is that today the girls are becoming keener than the boys to join the armed forces. I mean, that is how I gather from the number of candidates who go to the selection boards for their selection in the armed forces. During my service, I had gone once to Israel. Now, Israel has got a very large section of the, in fact, every girl has to join the army, or Navy, or Air Force. And that is where you find boys and girls are almost at equal numbers doing the same job. And I found the girls carrying their rifles, sitting in the buses, moving around, all that. And then one day I was taken to a range to see a tank performing on the range. Firstly, that tank went over a height. It was wanting to show me, because they thought that their tanks were better than ours. Their tanks are heavier, incidentally, than ours. And they showed me a tank go over a small climb, and then it jumped over a ditch across. I was very impressed, no doubt about it. And I said, I want to meet the crew of that tank. And you know, I found all the 4 crew members were all girls. I was very impressed. I said, this is what is Nari Shakti. And this is what we need in our country as Nari Shakti. I went to another place where they were teaching gunnery to people. And you know, almost 90% of the teachers were gunnery teachers were all girls. So I asked them, I said, how is it? He says, sir, because they are much sharper and they are good teachers. And that is it. Now that is the kind of opportunities that we have, the girls have today. And I came back and I said, we need these kind of opportunities for the girls, and that is how today we started off with smaller number, but today in armed forces, almost everywhere you have got girls in large number, and I gave you the number also. Two major advantages that the girls have today. One, of course, is the kind of job opportunities that you have are much better than them. Fortunately, the girls are doing better in schools as well as colleges. The other day I went to Hindu college, and there again I saw more girls than the boys sitting in the college. I'm talking of Hindu College, Delhi. And that is what is happening even in the jobs. In the corporate sector, I find larger number of girls coming and joining and demanding the same kind of pay and opportunity that the male colleagues they are getting. So the job opportunities are immense. It is for you to exploit it. And you have that advantage of this generation of Nari Shakti. Today we are, I call it the Nari Shakti generation, which has come, thank God. You know, we're just not talking about Ashtami hai aaj. So Ashtami also reminded me that in those old days we used to do puja of the girls on that particular day. पर उसके बाद में rest of the year हम लोग उनको दबा के रखते थे. That was Ashtami. I mean, that is what reminded. Today it's not that. Today is different. Today we have to listen to the girls, and people are keen to listen to the girls. So my last advice would be, don't be in a hurry to marry. Work for a profession. Work for a profession. Stand on your feet and be a good professional, whatever opportunity that you want to, whichever field that you want to. Because that will do you good, and that will also do our nation proud. So don't be in a hurry, and don't get taken in by your parents if they want you to hurry. And if you are a good professional, believe you me, you will also get a good husband, like my wife did when she married me. So with that, I just wish you all the best, wish each one of you a great future, and I also wish the school and its teachers the best as you are doing, and I'm sure you have that commitment, you have that skills to take it higher and higher. Wish you all the best. Thank you.